In today's video, I'm going to answer the question, how much protein can you absorb? Let's go. Hi, I'm Alex, a sports dietitian, nutrition coach. Welcome again to one of my videos. Thank you again for clicking and watching. But before we get into today's topic, remember, subscribe and ring that bell so you can stay in the loop with every single video. Protein is one of the more hotly debated topics in the nutrition space. And it's no secret that it's important, but also that protein is the most popular macro out there.
Hey, I got you guys protein shakes.
Awesome. I love protein.
I know you love protein. I love protein too.
Yeah, protein rocks.
Are you guys talking about protein? I love protein. I love protein too.
We know you love protein. Protein rocks.
Awesome. Protein rocks.
Protein.
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 However, there is a long-held belief that you can only use a certain amount of protein. You can only absorb a certain amount, and then the rest above that just gets wasted and the body throws it away. But is this true? Okay, should you be limiting your protein so you're not wasting it, so to speak? Let's explore that now. So to explain whether you can absorb all the protein, to explain whether you actually waste protein, we're gonna first start out with talking about protein biological value. So what is protein biological value? Essentially, it's kind of like a rating, so to speak, that we give to certain protein sources to tell us how well absorbed and how well utilized it is in the body. So things from like animals, like let's say like eggs, which are, funny enough, the highest biological value protein out there, and meats and dairy and that sort of stuff has a higher biological value than, let's say, the protein from plant-based foods like legumes and that sort of stuff, because it's more easily absorbed, more easily digested, more easily used and utilized for what we need protein for. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that I'm saying you can't be vegan or vegetarian. It's not good to be that. No, it just means that animal-based products have a higher biological value of protein. It's, for lack of a better word, let's call it, it's got a higher quality protein, but that doesn't mean that you can't be healthy and functional and be a good athlete, even if you're not using that. So now that we know biological value of protein, we understand that absorption can vary considerably between protein source to protein source. And this is one factor that we have to consider when it comes to how much protein can we actually use. But because you can't be going that nitty gritty, and I don't expect my athletes to be like, okay, well this protein source has this biological value and I've eaten this much, so I can absorb. Don't worry about that kind of stuff, okay? Don't stress yourself over that. I just want you to understand that different protein sources have different absorption rates. So then the question is, how much can we actually absorb? Studies showed that about 20 to 25 grams of protein per meal is utilized for muscle protein synthesis, and then the rest is utilized for other processes, as well as obviously the intangible stuff that protein helps with, such as increased satiety. But the important fact here is that none is really truly wasted. Now, of course, studies haven't tested where you're eating astronomical amounts of protein per meal and what happens there. Obviously, in that kind of sense, you could maybe argue some of it's, pointless. But just in a general meal, where maybe you're getting about 30 to 40 grams of protein, maybe even 50 grams. Some of my meals hit 50. Not often, but sometimes they do. That's not actually all wasted. Despite what the popular belief has been that if you eat above a certain amount, you're wasting protein, you're wasting money, or even worse, people say like it ruins your kidneys and that sort of stuff, which there's no evidence to support that for healthy individuals. There's nothing that's really wasted. It's just that 20 to 25 grams is roughly the guideline for general, for most people, for how much we use for muscle protein synthesis, AKA using protein to build muscles. So with that said, let's talk a little about protein and muscle protein synthesis. So as you can see from what I previously said, 20 to 25 grams is utilized for muscle protein synthesis and the rest gets utilized for other processes. And that's very, very important because athletes get stuck too much with thinking very one-dimensionally with certain things with nutrition. And protein is one of those things where it's like, oh, but if it's not being used for muscle, what's the point? I am wasting the protein then. No, you got to look at the bigger picture. If you're limiting protein per meal to that magical 20-25 grams you're actually absorbing for muscle protein synthesis, then you're fixating too much on just muscle gain. But that's not good. You need a more comprehensive approach to nutrition. You've got to consider that protein has all these other benefits in the body and the building of all these other cells, and as well as the fact that it helps with satiety and that sort of stuff. You've got to consider those things as well. So no, you're not wasting your protein when you're eating above a certain threshold, as long as you're eating within limits. I mean, there's no reason for you to eat 60, 70 gram protein meals. If you happen to do so, it's not going to give you, shouldn't give you any problems, but you don't probably need that much. But even if you're hitting that 40, maybe even 50, you're not wasting your protein. It is going to be used for other processes. It just depends on what your specific goals are and if that aligns with your nutrition. Some people don't like eating that much protein. Some people thrive on that. Some people just happen to balance out their nutrition and it happens to be that. Doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, I just want you to understand that protein goes beyond just muscle protein synthesis. Okay, it's not just about protein equals muscle gain. Protein has all these other benefits too. And understanding that and understanding biological value of protein, you can see how much you absorb can play a factor, but you really got to think about the bigger picture here. So to quickly sum up, how much can you absorb? About 20 to 25 grams roughly has been suggested as how much is used for muscle protein synthesis, but beyond that, within obviously certain limits, it is going to be used for other processes, so it's not really thrown away, you're not wasting it, so I hope that answered that question. So there you go, now you know the truth about protein and protein absorption and what you need to know so you can understand the truth a little bit better. And I want to know, okay, in the comments below, comment and let me know what you are currently struggling with when it comes to nutrition. Could be something protein related or could be just general. I want to hear what you as an athlete are struggling with and I'll see maybe if I can help you. And of course, as always, if you want a sports dietitian to personally help you work with you one-on-one, design a customized plan for you, whether it's aesthetics that you've got a goal, whether it's a goal for performance, or whether it's longevity, doesn't matter. I can help you. So if you're keen on that, let's have a chat. Let's see how I can help you create a nutrition plan that's more flexible, with less restriction, and a lot more sustainability. Okay, so if you're interested in that, I do have a 90-day, like a Kickstarter program, so to speak, that could help you move along that path and embrace that flexible approach to nutrition and start getting more results with less restriction. So if that's of interest to you, send me an email at alexa@theclimatedietitian.com.au. Otherwise, there is a link in the description notes below with an application link. If you're ready to rumble, we're going to apply now, have a chat, see if we're a good fit, and go from there. As always, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if this video has been helpful and taught you something new. Until next time, stay safe, stay classy, have a good one. Bye.